my prayer has been, Jesus, if you're coming to our city, and I 1000% think that you have and that you are coming more. If you're coming, don't pass us by. Don't, like failure for me would be to get to heaven, the Lord. Like, I wanted to do so much, but you couldn't steward it. You couldn't handle it.
Welcome to the Worship Probs podcast, where we aim to entertain, encourage, and equip worship and tech leaders all around the world. Look, we all know that serving in worship and production is great, but the problems, those are real. Thanks for joining us as we dive into today's episode with our host, Brian Tabor.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 397 of the Worship Probs podcast. Welcome back. Always glad to hang with you, whether you're listening on your favorite podcast platform or watching on YouTube. We're always glad to have you. Guys, greatness is here today. Capital G, greatness. He's back from his summer walkabout and he's fired up. It's the one and only Pastor Scot Longyear. Welcome back, my guy.
Hey, thank you. I never know what to say. You give the best intros. I'm just going to record them and just play them as like my daily affirmations, I think. So just lie to me some more, Brian.
Well, time with you is always good. And so this is going to be a great episode. We got some prayer concerns to share with you. But first, we're going to have a conversation with Scott about the quiet revival. And he's going to unpack a little bit about what that means and experience that he had recently. And so again, thanks for hanging out. If you're on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Before we dive in, I want to give some love to we got two amazing partners that help make the podcast possible, Planning Center and AE Global. And in our bio, there's a link. Hit that link and check both of these companies out. Planning Center is probably really, really familiar to you. They're crushing it. They can do so many things for your church and your worship and production department. And but AE Global can as well. So I hope you check them both out at the link in our bio. This episode of the Worship Probs podcast is brought to you by Planning Center, an all-in-one software that can help you organize every facet of your ministry, connect with your people, and help your people stay connected to each other. Among the many ways Planning Center can help you do that is through task management. In Planning Center, you can create detailed tasks, organize to-do lists, and even collaborate on those tasks with other team members in real time. Do you have recurring events and projects with long to-do lists? Make a task list template to save time. Have regular tasks you need help keeping up with? Set your tasks to automatically repeat at an interval of your choosing. And the best part is that you can create tasks from absolutely anywhere in Planning Center using the toolbar. You'll find your Tasks tab in Planning Center Home, the place you see all the important updates happening across your account. To learn more and get started today, visit planningcenter.com or click the link in our bio. Prayer Concerns is brought to you by our friends at AE Global. Worship and production ministry is hard. Every week you're preparing, troubleshooting, and dreaming about what could be next. And most days, it can feel like you're doing it all alone. But what if you had a trusted partner who understood the pressure and chaos and walked with you through it? For more than 30 years, AE Global has been building relationships with churches just like yours, helping with everything from audio, video and lighting to system design and even installation. But they're more than an integrator, and they're about more than just selling gear. AE Global is a team that comes alongside you and a partner for the long haul, someone to brainstorm, troubleshoot, and dream with. They don't just care about your equipment, but the people behind it. Because great ministry happens when you don't have to carry it all by yourself. If you're ready for a partner who understands church production and wants to help you move forward with confidence, visit the link in our bio and reach out to AE Global today. Don't do ministry alone. Navigate it together with AE Global. Well, man, it's always such a gift to have time with you, and I'm really grateful. You had a pretty unbelievable experience here this summer, and tell us about like how it happened and what'd you do and what'd you find out.
Yeah, long story short is we ended up in London, and because we had heard reports of there's a quiet revival that's going on in London. Maybe you've heard some about that, but I'll rewind just a little bit. It was sometime last year, and I was listening to my second favorite podcast, the Carey Nieuwhof leadership podcast, and Carey was interviewing some folks in there about revival, and man, it was just there were some things that just resonated deeply in me. We talk all the time about, man, the Lord's moving in some very strong ways. He's looking for places that will trust Him in that. We're seeing that over and over again. And somebody said something in that podcast, and I felt like the Holy Spirit saying that's exact the same thing I'm saying to you. And it was that, Scott, in 2026, I want you to get in rooms where I'm moving, and I want you to take some notes. And I was like, okay, I'm not sure what all that means, but I'm going to find some spaces where it seems like the Spirit of God is moving a little bit stronger than either I'm used to or than is normal. And I want to know my whole thing was just how to steward a movement of the Spirit of God in a room in a really balanced way. And so, we're a non-denom church. And so we have people all the way from coming from Catholicism to full Pentecostalism and all of that. And how do you balance all that, knowing that there is this move of the Holy Spirit? And how do we do that? And so that began kind of a deeper study of revival and awakenings, as well as just some things on location. So it was a little bit of a residency kind of study thing, independent. Maybe, I don't know. But I'm just like, I just want to know, man. I want to know. I sense, we've been in a room together, Brian, before, where it's like, man, the Spirit of God is doing something here. And how do we not get in the way of that? Yeah. How do we not manipulate that, but we still open the door? How do we set the table for that to happen? All these questions run around. So a couple things that I've learned, we throw around terms like revival's here, revival's coming. And honestly, it just depends on who you talk to on whether they think revival's here, revival is coming, because they have different definitions of what revival is. So what is revival? Some people would say revival is just an intensification of what God is already doing. Like it's what He normally does, but He's doing more of it. I think there's something to be said for that. Some would say some different things, but in my mind, the way that it's framed, that I've framed it, makes the most sense to me, is that there is a difference between awakening and revival. Revival, in my mind anyway, and I don't know whether this is the right definition or not, is that when we see some cultural and sociological changes, right? Has revival come to my city? I don't think it's come yet, because we haven't seen crime decrease. We haven't seen a decrease in the number of kids who are being removed from their homes and being put into foster care. We haven't seen a decrease in drug addiction. And overall, we haven't seen a massive, massive city increase in people coming to know Jesus, to the point that it's impacting our schools and our workplaces and our society. So I think revival could be defined as more a deep spiritual impact on society, but it comes and starts in awakening. So when we talk about Asbury, most of the people that I know that are talking about Asbury. So if you remember Asbury, right? It was it 23 that Asbury broke out, 16 days of nonstop worship and prayer that happened on this campus that was completely lo-fi. It wasn't big lights and all that kind of stuff. Upwards of 70,000 people came to visit that. But the majority of people that I talked to that are way more experts in the field than I am would label it as an awakening. Not as a revival, as an awakening. And so I'm like, okay, then I want to get into places where I'm seeing some awakening. So that took us to a few different places. I took some of the team and I went to New York City to Altars Conference, put on by John Tyson and his church there, Church of the City. And just watched, okay, if the Lord's moving in rooms, like what does that look like? And just what does prayer look like in their church? How do they steward moments and movements and all that kind of stuff? Some things went on there that I was like, that's a stretch for me, man. That's a little uncut. Theologically, I might have to wrap my mind around that. That wasn't all of it, but like that's the place I wanted to be. I wanted to be kind of stretched and look at. And then the big one is that we just returned, I don't know, 4 or 5 weeks ago from a couple weeks in London, and we were at it's called the Leadership Conference. Just kind of a generic term, but the Leadership Conference in London. Our good friend Rich Birch, our mutual friend, had said, "Man, this is an amazing place." And so we went over there. It was about 6. I think I shot a video for Experience there. There was 6,000 or so, 5,000 or 6,000 people packed into Royal Albert Hall, where the Beatles would have played, where, it's just amazing. And singing in, I think it was from 80 different nations.
Wow.
So pretty powerful, but it was a very conference feel, and it was good. But the real benefit we had was the week before that, we went to what was called a city showcase tour, which was a smaller, kind of under the radar deal where we went on tour to a lot of churches around England and heard from, it was kind of, we're going to this church this day, and we're going to hear from this pastor and worship together. So we had, I think there were a few hundred of us all together, but I think there were like 30 or 40 from the United States. It was New Zealand and Canada and where was I? I was there. I don't know. Anyway, a lot of some folks from a lot of different places, but we ended up in Holy Trinity in Brompton, which is where Nicky Gumbel is, which may resonate with some people. The Alpha course was originated there. King's Cross Church, St. Aldate's Church, Saints Church. Went to Hillsong's. Man, I went to more church services in 1 week than most people do in a lifetime. But man, we heard from some great people like Pete Hughes. Pete is a brother of Tim Hughes. So Tim Hughes, you'll recognize, worship leader, right? So Pete leads a great, beautiful church in England. Nicky and Pippa Gumbel, who birthed the whole Alpha movement. If you're a theological nerd, I got to sit down a little bit with N.T. Wright, who's probably one of the deepest and greatest theologians who's currently living. And I asked no questions and listened a whole lot there. But Stephen Foster, John Tyson, those names would mean to some folks. But we were chasing what some have termed as the quiet revival, right? We've heard terms, people saying like there's a quiet revival that's going on in England. And we were just kind of like, well, let's find out. Let's find out. So to contextualize everything, you had Asbury in 23, right? 16 days, 70,000 people, this outpouring that happens. And then from 23 to 26, you're watching some things pop up on university campuses in the U.S. Now, it's probably happening all over the world. I just haven't had my eyes on it. But we've seen a lot of things, like 20 plus campuses reporting some outpourings of some sort. I think SEU, we had some there. We had some, just several others, right? So there's like some legitimate outpourings that are going on. And then there's this resurgence happening in the UK. Here's the crazy thing, man. In 2010, they gathered most of the leaders of churches in the UK, and they're tied underneath the Church of England. I'm not sure how all that works. But in essence, the leaders, the top level leaders in the churches in England made a statement to all those who were leading churches. And here's what they said, quote, in 2010, "The role of you as a church leader is to manage the decline of the church well." 2010, our churches are declining. Here's your mission, boys and girls. Manage the decline well. In 2010, the Financial Times came out in the UK and they said this, quote, "There are more members of the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds than regular churchgoers in the UK."
Wow.
2010. And so there's this massive, massive decline that happened in 2010 that the US hasn't hit. And now there's a complete turnaround. So you've probably seen some stats that have come out, man, there's this big giant resurgence, and some initial statistics came out, and then some updated stats came out, and are like, we weren't sure that those stats were completely accurate. Is it increasing or not? I'm seeing with my own eyes, like there is some kind of stirring that's going on in the churches there. We would wait outside in, as they call them in England, queues, big lines to get in, multiple services packed with a lot of young people. So there is a resurgence of young people being open to faith in that. This was pretty shocking, Brian. 134% increase in Bible sales.
Wow.
134%. Any guesses to the number one selling version in the UK out of that 134%? What would you say?
Man. Tell me.
King James.
Really?
Yeah. King James.
I was probably going to say like the Message paraphrase or...
Right. Yeah, you would think. And so the thought is that young people are going, I don't know much about Jesus. I need a Bible. I need to read about this. And so they're having their way online, or they're having their way into a store, and they're picking up a King James Bible, not knowing.
Wow.
Right.
Wow.
So they think it's first time followers of Jesus, or curious people who are doing that, which in my mind, I'm like, well, that accounts for another half of the Bible sales, because they're going back I need a different Bible because I can't read the King James and understand it. An amazing. Now we saw this. I've seen and heard this mostly overseas, of people coming to Jesus in the Muslim community. And that is of people coming to faith, to Christianity from the Muslim community. And they're doing so instigated by a dream that they had about Jesus. Wow. So that would be a common thing that you would hear from the Muslim community in the past. Like, I don't know what's going on. I'm a Muslim, but I had this vivid dream about Jesus, and now it made me want to explore. The whole idea of dream, this is going to stretch some of us, right? But this whole idea of God using dreams, that story was told over and over and over again in the UK churches that we were in.
Wow.
This guy just shows up at the door and is like, I don't know anything about Jesus, but I had this crazy dream last night that somebody stood in front of me, and they said, and they were all different dreams, right? But the Lord seems to be moving in the supernatural. And before we dismiss that, can we just say that we serve a Jesus who rose from the dead?
Come on now. Yep.
Who performed miracles. So maybe he's not all done yet.
Yeah.
And he can do what he wants to do. But there's something that's going on. And man, I'm telling you what, there's a deep, deep spiritual hunger. And we stood in line at a church called All Saints Church for, I don't know how we stood in line for, but they queued the line. I actually threw a video on my stories, I think, of this. But it was a line that stretched probably a good quarter mile to get into a church. And they capped it at 3,000. After 3,000 people in, you could not get in. We had to have a wristband to get in, full of young people packed into this church at 7 p.m. And they came in for a 12-hour night of prayer.
Holy moly. From
7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And I'm telling you right now, even talking about it, like I get emotional because, Brian, I walked into the room, and you've been in the rooms, and I was in those rooms all week, but I walked in the room and you're just like, the Spirit of God is here, man. And I have one picture. I took my phone out and took one picture, and then I couldn't take any more, man. I wanted to document it all. I wanted to take videos for everybody. I want to take pictures, but it's like, I felt like I was violating the sacredness of the moment by doing that. And I'm like, okay, the Lord. So I'm watching, how are the leaders stewarding the moments like this? What is it that got us to this place? What is it that called 3 churches together to say, we're going to collectively worship and pray? And man, it was just breathtaking, and it was just super, super thin. And let me just share a couple more things, and I'll get to some implications that I think will help some of our teams. But when I think about, and this is just I'm no expert on outpourings or revival at all, but in the little bit that I look at, if you had Asbury in 23, that ramps up into this deal, right? And then God's moving on some U.S. campuses, and they're moving, and then you got this going in the UK. And then you think about the U.S. churches. Let's talk about the outpourings in the U.S. churches. I'm not seeing a ton yet. Yeah. Now, my friends that are in ministry, and you know this, and all of our listeners would say, like, there's a resurgence that's happening in our churches. There's an increase in attendance. For most of us, there's this hunger, but I don't think it's clicked into outpourings yet. Mm-hmm. I mean, when's the last time that you led the last worship song, and you're like, guys, it's been great worshiping with you, and everybody looked back at you and said, we ain't done. Yeah, we're staying. Mm-hmm. When's the last time you called a prayer meeting and people are like, there's so many in here that we have to not let people in? Yeah. So I don't think it's come to the U.S. yet into the U.S. churches. Yet I think there's some reasons for that. If we're on college campuses and I'm a student, I have more open-ended, like, I don't have kids that they're watching during the prayer meeting. Like I get all of that. But some of my observations, a few observations, and then some applications. I think we've talked about this before, but man, my prayer has been like at a guttural level. My prayer has been, Jesus, if you're coming to our city, and I 1,000% think that you have, and that you are coming more. If you're coming, don't pass us by. Yeah. Don't, like failure for me would be to get to heaven, the Lord. Like, I wanted to do so much, but you couldn't steward it. You couldn't handle it. And so I passed by. So I think it's really more about posturing your heart towards Jesus and awakening. That's the one thing I'm trying to do. Like, how can I continue to posture my heart? I'm not chasing awakening. I'm chasing Jesus. I'm not chasing revival. I'm chasing Jesus and his mission, right? But I want to posture my heart towards Jesus. I also want to posture my heart towards awakening. And, I heard one leader say that they came and they visited Asbury, and they're heading back home, and they just felt like the Holy Spirit said, here's what I want you to do in your church. I don't want you to change anything except the posture of your heart. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, man, I think the posture of our hearts need to change. Here's the interesting thing, Brian. And most of the UK leaders that I ran with would say this: we didn't really change anything except the posture of our heart. And they said, look, you're not going to see anything here that we're doing that's vastly different than what you're doing. Somebody described it once in another conversation of, we're fishing with the same nets, but just like the disciples in the boat, like, we're still using the same fishing techniques, but now we're getting a haul. Now we're getting a ton for some reason, because the Lord is blessing it in the middle of all of that. I was also, man, just super personally convicted when it came to the idea of a risk. I think some of our worship teams and our production teams, man, you'll resonate with this. If you're in a room and you sense the Spirit of God is moving or wanting to do whatever that is, whatever that means in your context, it means I want to repeat a bridge. It means, man, I want to give some extra space here, or like I just need to drop to my knees and we need to have, like, whatever it is. Like, I have found myself sometimes stopping short in those moments because I'm playing scared. Mm-hmm. What if I'm wrong? Mm. So what if you're wrong? What's the worst that's going to happen if you're wrong? You're going to be like, well, man, I thought that was the Lord. I guess that was just me and my imagination running. I'm afraid I'm going to look stupid. Look, man, like I look stupid every week. Like, come on. Like I think there's just this barrier that we kind of need to push through and just kind of risk a little bit, and to say, like, God might be doing something in the middle of this. So let me give you five implications. I shared this with our eldership here. I'll share this with our staff next week, and it's all still super fresh. One is that we're going to move deeper in the Spirit. Okay. And that's where the risk thing comes in. And we're just going to push into that. We've actually started now to change. Our all staff meetings have gone from, here's some business and some things that we need to know and how you turn in expenses and this and this and this, to doing at least half, if not 3/4 of the time, is like, we're praying. We're praying together. We're worshiping together. We're getting serious together. And we're doing the same thing in our elders meetings. And so we're moving deeper into the Spirit in that. And here's the crazy thing. The deeper we move in that, a lot of the other things just kind of seem to work out. kind of take care of themselves, It's like Jesus is taking care of them. Second implication, this has been for us anyway, and I think if you're gonna be opening to steward, awakening, and revival, it would be this, is that we will support and deploy a younger generation with unparalleled generosity. We will support and deploy a younger generation with unparalleled generosity. I think the movements will pass by, that the Lord will pass by some movements in some churches if they say, we're not going to lean into a younger generation in all that means, right? Because this seems to be where this is kind of moved and is kind of housed. And so we want to be a part of that. The third thing is I'm just really convicted that we would do well, and we're doing this here, is to lean deeper into consecration. Consecration, biblical term that means to be set apart and to be holy. So the challenge is, as we're leading worship on a Sunday morning, and we're coming in and we're more concerned about, have you practiced your stuff? Do you know the transitions? Or how are you doing spiritually? Have you spent time this week as a normal part of your routine? Have you spent time with the Lord? Do you have unconfessed sin in your life? Do you have somebody else on the team that you're sideways with that you need to get connected in here? Have you ached over this worship gathering, that there will be people here who love Jesus and hate Jesus, who just went through a divorce, who just heard the word cancer, like who are outside of you, who are aching because their kids don't know who Jesus is, who are like suicidal and they've come for their last hit. Like, has that been a burden on you? And have you said, God, I want you to flow through me. I don't care if anybody knows my name or sees me at all. Have you just like laid yourself out and consecrated yourself there? So we want to lean into that more. Just to say, God, it's really about you. We're going to lean into consecration. We're praying for rain, and so artistically, you'll know. It's like we've sung songs about that, forever. But I think of a couple scriptures with that. In Zechariah 10 says, ask the Lord for, let me go to Hosea 6 first. It says, he will come like the rain, like the spring showers, the water of the earth. So we're coming out of springtime. It's like these gentle showers that come. And so then let's pray for the rain to come. But then I love what it says in Zechariah 10, like, ask the Lord for rain in the springtime. Yes. But listen, he says, it's the Lord who sends the thunderstorms. And so I had heard this prayer in England, and I'm like, I'm stealing that. Or as my London friends would say, I'm going to nick that. Like, I'm going to steal that, right? And it's like, thanks God, thanks for the light rain, but we want the heavy rain.
Come on.
Like, we want the heavy rain. And if you are going to pray for heavy rain, you better make sure that your roots are deep. Yeah. If the Lord's good, because from what I've seen, revival comes at a cost, and it comes at a weight, and there's spiritual battles that go on. But like, we're praying like, Lord, come on. We've been at this game for a long time. We're consecrated. We're deep in you. Like, bring the heavy rain. We want to see more and more people know about you. They don't need to know our name, the name of our church, or anything else. We just want to see them know you. And then here's the final thing. And it's this, man. Here's what I believe with all my heart, man. I think this is the greatest spiritual season of our lifetime. Greatest spiritual season of our lifetime. And listen, if you're new in the whole game, or you're younger in faith, or younger in leadership and worship leading, it would be really easy to look around and go like, well, this is just how it is. Tons of people coming to church, and we have to add services. And man, this is just how it is. And let me just tell you from a couple old guys that have been around the sun a few times, this is not how it's always been. Man, we have been through seasons where we've been like, man, we believe in Jesus. We love Jesus. We're coming after him, and nobody else seems like they are. We've been in rooms that are way more empty than they are full, where people are not praying about Jesus, where people are probably more people in the Bird Society in the U.S. than they are in churches. And watching what the Lord is doing is so, so beautiful. It's the greatest season of our lifetime. And here's what I'm saying, Brian, like, I'm praying like, God, don't let this be it. Don't let this be the top. And we're like, let this just be the beginning. And so we talked about it before, but I think he is just looking for some people and some places to trust with his glory. Man, we're seeing him do that. We saw him do that on college campuses, and in Asbury, we're seeing him do that in England. Like let's do that. Let's be those kind of people. And I think it's easy to say, well, the church needs to. And I would just ask us to look into the mirror and just say, Lord, what do I need to do? What do I need to do to consecrate myself? And for a lot of us, I'm probably going to turn preacher now, but for a lot of us, we just need to beat ourself out of ourselves.
Yeah.
I know that's true for me. Man, what if revival comes to the church across town, or if awakenings come to the church across town and not to my church? Am I okay with that? I want to be. I want to be. What if somebody else gets a little more attention than our ministry does? Is that okay? Yeah, I want it to be. So, man, would we just continue to be a people who say we want to be consecrated before the Lord, and the kind of people that the Lord would go like, I'm looking for somewhere to steward my glory, and there it is right there.
Yeah.
Because they have really deep roots, and because they have deep roots, I'm going to send a heavy rain. I'm not going to send a light rain, but I'm going to send a heavy rain.
Wow. Mercy, mercy, mercy. Wow. Amen. Amen and amen. Boy, and I love that you couldn't come back with like, here's 5 things that they're doing that we're not doing here.
Yeah.
And that's why it's really just, Lord, send the rain, man.
Yeah, it is. There are a few like openness and some little like, here's how you might word things or whatever. I think a lot. I think we got to be careful in that sometimes we can get, especially with programming, click and loop and all of the stuff, that can spill over into our entire service is basically just we push play at the beginning and then we push stop at the end, and we don't have any spaces in here in the middle of it. What if in the middle of a sermon, the Lord's like, I want you to stop right now. I want you to spend some time praying. What if between song 2 and 3, do you have space to stop in that? So there are some little things along the way, but it really starts with us just going, we just need to be open to what the Lord wants to do.
Amen.
In this and risk in it, man. And we'll learn along the way. We'll stumble along the way, but what a great time to be a part of the kingdom.
Wow. Amen. Amen. Whew, boy, there's so much to chew on from that, man. I'm going to be chewing on it for a while. Thank you so much for sharing that and giving us some insight into what the Lord's doing in a place I've never been. I mean, but boy, that we would see that here.
Yeah, and I think it's coming. I think it's going to be a work, and it's going to be a joy, and all that, And I would say too, like enjoy it, man. We don't know how long these days are going to last, and let's not get all choked up on like, well, this is as good as it's going to get. Maybe not. Like, I don't know, but man, I just want to walk around and enjoy it and laugh well with it, man. And Brian, you help us laugh. You help us laugh well with all the sarcasm and the memes and everything else. And you know where I'm going. You just help us to laugh so well, sometimes at ourselves and just what's going on in the middle of the revival, what's going on with this beautiful little section that Brian likes to call prayer concerns.
Masterful, man. Just when I think it couldn't get any better, the transition is just taken to
That's kind of a hard
height.
Transition, man. That was really, I'm not going to lie. That's like church sacred moment into announcements. I'm like, okay.
That's a 400 level transition right there, man. That's like advanced calculus right there. Well, guys, prayer concerns, you know them, you love them. You get these sideways comments from people at your church where they just don't understand what you were thinking when you planned that. Why was it so loud? The lights are in my eyes. Don't be messing with my hymns. And you need some new britches. You need some jeans without holes in them. I'll take you shopping. So people send these in from all over, and we share them anonymously on the podcast. We'll never share your name or your church's name. So send yours to us. You can DM them to us on the socials, or you can go to the website, worshipleaderprops.com. Just click on prayer concerns up in the menu. So let's dive right in. Prayer concern number 1. I got this recently on a Connect card, and it says, worship team, please stop teasing us with songs that have lyrics from hymns and just sing the hymn.
It's you're teasing us. It's like a little what's the word I'm looking for? Passive aggressive.
Yeah,
is that
a little bit,
passive aggressive?
yeah.
Setting the worship set. Passive. I'm gonna give him a little something.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Number 2, prayer concern number 2. I had a senior saint come up to me a few weeks ago and tell me that the song Holy Forever is not biblical. His reasoning, the first line, 1,000 generations falling down in worship. He said the Bible clearly states that the earth is only 6,000 years old. So we can't even have 1,000 generations.
Oh. I had never, in my lilife, I've never sung that and gone, now these young earth people are going to be, young earth people are going to be twisted, man. So Tomlin must be old earth. That joker. He doesn't even believe the Bible. Okay, well, now I just made a whole bunch of people mad. So, look, I took a deep dive in the whole old young thing. Like, there's some things on both sides. So don't unsubscribe. Don't unsubscribe. It's prayer concerns, people.
Oh my gosh, that's phenomenal. Well, how would you even handle that?
Okay.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, there it is.
The thought process behind that you're like,
yeah.
You're already coming in like deep in there with like 1,600. Does that even work out? I don't know. What would that, if you're 100 years old? I can't math anyway. So I can barely say the words.
I'm a
can't
musician,
math
man. You know I can't math. Oh my gosh. Okay, number 3, prayer concern number 3. It was my first month and first Easter leading at my church, and we had 2 services. My bass player didn't show up for rehearsal, but during the first service, he ended up walking on stage during the middle of a song, kind of distracting everybody who saw him. And mind you, he was wearing neon pink skinny jeans and sparkly silver shoes. He proceeded to jump in and started playing, acting like he wasn't late. In that moment, I asked myself, where the heck am I? Pink skinny jeans and silver sparkly shoes, man.
Rose showed up late because if he showed up on time, they'd make him change, man. That's what. What's going on, man? We're like,
what in the world?
We're singing theologically incorrect lyrics and wearing pink and sparkly. And
what are we doing? What are we even doing?
I don't know.
Oh my Lord. Okay. Number 4, prayer concern number 4. Had a guy complaining about volume recently, and I was trying to help him with a location that he could sit in that might be so loud. He said, I know that location might be the best place to sit to hear better, but I need to sit in the back to get out to the parking lot sooner. Really coming from the heart there. You got to beat the Baptist to the Golden Corral.
I don't want my music loud or to talk to anybody.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. Okay, here's the last one. Bottom of the pudding cup, prayer concern number 5. I had a senior saint ask me once about a shimmer reverb effect I was using with my guitar. I did my best to explain how it worked, and then I said, well, I'm glad you liked it. His reply, oh, I didn't say I liked it. Oh, I didn't say I liked it.
Tell me all about this item that I do not like.
Oh my gosh. Fam, those are prayer concerns. Please send yours in to us. You can hit us on the website, worshipleaderprobs.com. DM them to us on any of the socials. There's also at that link in our bio, there's if you hit that link, it'll show you a bunch of links. And if you just scroll down, there's one that will take you right to the prayer concerns page on the old website. Well, we've been telling you about Experience Conference 2026. And guys, it's going to be awesome. I'll be there. Scott will be there. We're going to record a live episode of our podcast there
so
together.
Much fun. Always
people
so
in the
fun.
room. It's going to be so much fun. Scott, you'll be there teaching, speaking, doing all kinds of stuff. Kim and I will be doing some teaching as well. And just check out some of the worship leaders that we got. Passion Music. We got Red Rocks Worship. We got Patrick Mayberry, Tim Hughes, Mitch Wong, Garrett and Kate. Who did they just announce? They're adding people all the time.
Alexander Pappas.
Alexander Pappas is going to be there. Christian Stanfield will be there as well, by himself, as well as a part of Passion. And I don't think they're done, guys. I think there's maybe a surprise or two coming down the pike. The old HMB Heath Michael Bottomley, he's in the laboratory, man, and he is cooking. He is. It's going to be great.
You heard it here first, kids. Brian knows all
that's right.
The industry intel.
That's right. It's going to be.
It's always great too when you bring your teams. Like our team, our team will go, and it's just getting to experience that together, and then conversations in the hallways and all that. Are you going to do a meetup? You do a meetup sometimes?
We need to figure that out. We probably ought to. I don't think we did one.
I just go for the free WP merch. Usually Brian brings boxes of free merch,
boxes of merch
to hand out.
So because we got the mad stacks.
That's right. That's good, but you can actually save some money if you register.
You can. There's a code there in the link in our bio, and there's a discount code, PROBS26. It'll save you $30 on every registration. So
$30, man, that'll get you like a large Coke at Disney.
Disney, that's right. And here's the deal: like maybe your spouse and your kids want to come with you. The resort is beautiful. There's tons of stuff for them to do while you're at the conference. And, the Disney parks are just a short bus ride away. And so it's really great. Great time, fellowship, incredible content, 100 workshops. And man, it's just an outstanding event. So we'd love to see you there. Worship Karaoke Season 5 has been just a blast. We got more coming, more.
So good.
It's just, we're having a great time with that. Hey, Friday, July 10th, Pop-Up Probs, Charlotte, North Carolina. We're going to gather at the headquarters for AE Global. They have graciously volunteered to host this gathering. They're providing a free lunch. The entire day is free. And so it starts at 9. It's probably going to go till about 1 o'clock. So it's half day, Friday. I'll be there. Kim will be there with me. We'll do some teaching. We're going to record a podcast. Our friend Wade Joy, longtime creative pastor from Elevation, will be there teaching as well. Again, it's all free. If you're anywhere close to Charlotte, join us for this day. You can register through the link in our bio. Again, that's Friday, July the 10th. Man, time with you is always rich, my guy.
Oh man, I love being able to connect before we hit record and the whole thing. And, I love it. And almost at 400 episodes.
Almost. Yeah. Man, beautiful. It's right around the corner.
Yeah. We got to think about something like just spectacular for 500th episode.
Oh gosh. Can you, on a plane, maybe somebody's been suggesting that from the beginning. That's you, right?
That's right. That's
on a plane.
Yeah. Let's do it. Or give away a car. That's right. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. On episode number 500, Worship Props Podcast. Our 10th caller will receive a free car.
Yeah, it's probably going to have Terre Haute plates on it too. So we're going to roll into your...
I can give you a free car. You just bring a trailer. Oh man.
We always love hanging with you guys.
Good.
Always love it.
So good. Well, before you jump off, listen, make sure that you're subscribed so that you know when this is coming out, and just subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. You're never going to miss an episode if you do. And if you could take a quick minute, head over to Apple Podcast. 5-star rating and just a few nice little words right there would go a long way in the algorithm.
Absolutely.
Really helps more worship and production leaders find the podcast. And as you know, you get to laugh, you get to learn a little bit. This has been deeply enriching in my leadership and my life. And so also all over the socials, it's at Worship Probs on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and Threads, or on TikTok, it's at Worship Leader Probs. And join also on Facebook, man. This is so powerful. The Worship Probs community group over there. Post any question, anything that you have, whether it comes from leadership or gear, whatever. We're all just trying to help each other out in the middle of all this. And if you're on X, just look for hashtag Worship Leader Probs, and it'll get you right where you need to go.
Absolutely. We love connecting with you on all those platforms. And our girl, Allie B. Creative, Allie Bahanos, just crushing it for us, man. She's so incredible. edits the podcast, graphics, and she's working with churches around the country, kind of coaching up your social media team, your communications team on how to strategize. She's doing some teaching on AI that is just really outstanding as well. So we're going to tag her up. Get in touch with her. A 10 out of 10. Recommend Allie for whatever you need. And thanks to my friend Scott Hoke for our intro. Guys, we absolutely love you. Thanks so much for hanging with us for episode 397. Until next time, deuces.
Arrivederci.